Hey everyone, I'm Josh.
I'm T, and on today's episode of One Tank Trips,
We're going to Hill End for the third time in 12 months.
hi everyone. So, as we've just mentioned, our next One Tank trip is back to Hill End, mainly because we are catching up with one of Josh's old high school buddies.
Primary school.
Primary school buddies.
Primary school. I haven't seen him in about 20 years, so it's going to be good. He's gotten married and he's got a couple of kids since then. We don't have the kids with us this weekend. They're spending the weekend with their dad, but we do have the dogs. So
There's the dogs.
should be a nice little
Say hi, puppies.
weekend away.
Yeah.
As far as a one tank trip is concerned, I'm not too worried about fuel on this one.
We've done it before, so we kind of know what we're in for.
Yeah,
so it's a bit of a cheat.
Yeah, we know roughly how far away it is. The terrain is pretty hilly, so this one does use a lot of fuel. There's some pretty decent hills we've got to pull up, and you're towing uphill with a Jeep, you know, that's
the dog just sneezed on me.
going to use a lot of fuel. So it's only about 75 k's from home, but we are going to do a fair bit of exploring when we're up there. So, you know, who knows? We will have to be a little bit careful.
The jerry can is in the back, just in case.
Yeah, so stick around and see what we get up to, and who knows, at the end of this video, we could be putting a jerry can of fuel in the car on the side of the road, but let's hope not. Anyway, let's get to Hill End.
Let's go.
Pulling into Hill End now. There's two campgrounds here in Hill End. We've splurged and got ourselves a powered site for the weekend because we're catching up with some friends. I don't think they're here yet though. Actually, no, they are here already. They've beaten us. So we'll get into the camp.
In our spot.
We'll get into the campground. We'll get set up and have a good weekend. Good morning, everyone. It is the next morning and we're here in Hill End. We're playing with a few toys. I'm reviewing a new little power station that's just there, putting it through its paces. So we'll let you know what we think of that in a little while. If that video hasn't already come out, it may actually make it out before this video goes to air. We didn't film much last night. We got here and we met up with my old school friend and got set up, and then promptly went for a bit of a walk around town and sat by the fire and just sort of chilled. Today we're going to take them out to the Cornish Roasting Pits, Valentine's Mine. We may even do a little bit of four-wheel driving, so we'll see what we get up to. Obviously we're here with the A-van, we've got the dogs. T's in there doing some cleaning, thanks T. And that is Chris's setup. So they've been on the road for about 3 months. This is the tail end of their trip and they decided to come say good day. So I haven't seen Chris in probably 15 years, so it's always good to have a catch up with old friends. Anyway, we better get packed up here and get on the road and go check out some of the stuff in the area. We're on our way to Valentine's Mine and the Cornish Roasting Pits. We did see a sign on our way over to show that the Valentine's Mine might actually be closed, so we're just passing through one of the historic villages just north of Hill End. So we'll just have to wait and see what we find out when we get there. From a fuel situation, we've got about 290 k's to empty, 3/4 of a tank, so we're sitting pretty good right now, but there is a possibility that we might go four-wheel driving this afternoon, and if we do that, it's probably going to add about 100 k's to the trip, which could mean that we may run in. Yeah, it could mean we run into an issue. So we'll check in when we find out what we see at the Cornish Roasting Pits and Valentine's Mine. I do hope we get to do both, but we'll just have to wait and see. We arrived at the Cornish roasting pits and the road in, though dirt, was a little better than the last time we went here. A short walk and we got to see the ruins of what remains at the site. While we're talking about ruins, Hill End is a bit of a time capsule to a largely forgotten gold mining past. Once the largest inland town in New South Wales, there's lots of old ruins, mines and infrastructure from a time even before our grandparents' generation. The roasting pits came about because quartz is notoriously hard to crush, especially so at the time. In order to soften the quartz from the mines, they came up with a method to roast the material over large fires before being fed into the stamper batteries to crush it so that the gold could be extracted. It's pretty incredible to think that everything here would have been mined and produced locally, built largely by hand with only what we would call rudimentary tools by today's standards. This was once the pinnacle of industry at the time. Beware though, if you're headed out to the Aussie bush on a nice day, you might just encounter a friend that needs to be treated with a fair degree of caution and a lot of respect.
Probably not showing up on the camera, but we were going to head across to the old house site, which involves crossing this little creek here. T's already over there, but just on the other side of the creek, we've come across a little red belly black. It's not very big, but it's big enough that you don't really want it to bite you or the dogs, considering that even a small bite from a red belly black out here would be fatal to the dogs. And it would mess you up pretty good too. It has blocked T's route back, so we might need to see if we can figure out another way for her to cross the creek. It's just nestled on the other side of the bank, literally on the walking path. So yeah, we won't be crossing over there today, I don't think. So what just happened?
There was a snake in the river.
In the river? Yeah, and how close did you get to it?
Close.
Close?
Closer than you were comfortable being?
Yes. Yeah, the snake would have been where I am, and then you would have been there. Maybe a little further away.
Well, that was a bit exciting. T had already crossed the river, and then we came across the snake, so we stopped.
I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, we stopped T from coming back until the snake had sort of cleared, and just hanging around the water. It was, I don't know if it was looking for food or what, but we decided to leave it be.
It's having a good sunbake though.
Yeah, it was a little red belly black. They're generally not aggressive, but you know, always better to play it safe than sorry. So we can always come back and have a look at what's over the other side another time. Safety is most important. We're going to head out from the Cornish roasting pits now, and I might go poke in and see if Valentine's mine is actually closed. I suspect it is. If it is, then we'll head down to Golden Gully and take the kids for a walk through there. So just had a look at that sign. Looks like Valentine's mine is closed. The sign says area closed. There's nothing across the gate though. I think we might have to give that one a miss this time, unfortunately. Alright, next stop is going to be Golden Gully. It's on the right hand side of the road, a little bit further up. It's an old area that the Chinese miners found, and they excavated a creek bed, and it's pretty impressive. Go down there and go for a walk. I think there's a couple of 100 metres you can walk through it. There are signs that lots of people ignore once you get to the end that say don't go into this area, so it's up to you guys whether or not you want to go through there. We've just come down into Golden Gully, and it's thrown a little bit of a curveball at us. Last time we were here, this was bone dry, and it's not so much today. So we'll see how far we can go. I'm not real keen on having dogs with muddy paws on the back seat, so we'll see how far we can get. But
Or kids with muddy feet.
this has been one of the richest gold mines in the area, and it has been worked and worked and worked multiple times over. So many different companies, many different people.
We took a stroll down the Golden Gully and it was quite wet and boggy underfoot. This one really is a spot well worth a visit just to take it all in. I'm not sure if the carvings and cutouts in the wall are all natural or all man-made, probably a combination of both, but it really is a spectacular sight to see. We got to the end of the main track and it kept getting wetter underfoot, so we headed back to the car. Moving on from the Golden Gully, we did a little lookout tour. There are 3 main lookouts in Hill End, some of which are well signposted, others which aren't. The first one we went to was the Bald Hill Lookout, which offers a really nice view looking out to the west over the town and to the south. There are some old ruins and survey markers up the top, but in our experience, this lookout is much less travelled than the other lookouts close to town. From here, we headed down to the Beaufoy Merlin lookout. This lookout shows one of the hill faces that's been extensively mined over the years, with what we believe to be one of the few still active mines in the area right down the bottom. There are information boards with more information about how expansive the mining operations used to be. The third and final lookout is the lookout at Kissing Point and Split Rock lookout. This one is pretty cool in that we believe this is actually at the trailhead of what used to be the original bridle track back to Bathurst. There's lots of fenced off sections that they were very clearly didn't want the public accessing, and the bridle track now takes a different route. This lookout offers some very nice scenic views over the Turon River with a nice place to sit and just take it all in. Moving on from Kissing Point and Split Rock, we decided to head down towards Coles Bridge on the Turon River and do some four-wheel driving. Chris said that he was interested in doing some river driving in his Everest, and there's a well-known local run along the Turon River here that is absolutely one of my favourite four-wheel driving destinations. Starting with a steep descent of varying choices of difficulty, the run drops down into the river and usually takes about an hour to complete. The river level pays critical importance to the ability to complete this run, as the river does become impassable if it's too high. As per usual, Ruby took a few of the challenge lines along this section, although there are easier options available. Chris decided to have a go in the Everest at this particular challenge line, and after a couple of attempts decided that taking the easier route was the right thing to do. One section of this run has long been subject to controversy, with a local landowner having issues with people doing the wrong thing on their land. We have always just passed through gently, but unfortunately others have caused issues in the past, and when we went through this time, the landowner has taken steps to prevent part of the track being used as a thoroughfare, and now the track is no longer passable end to end. With fading light, it was time now to head back to camp, relax for the evening, as we had to pack up early and head home the next day. Well, that's that. We really do enjoy this area up here. Hill End is a beautiful place. There's always lots to see and do. It's good to catch up with an old school friend that I haven't seen in a long time. Show him some of the full driving in the area. It's a shame that the bridge-to-bridge run is now no longer able to be done from one end to the other, but look, to be fair, it's probably only a matter of time. People have been doing the wrong thing, and if people do the wrong thing, we're going to lose access to these places. What do you think?
They won't learn. They won't learn. We got to come back again. I like taking photos.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. If you like wildlife, if you like taking photos of birds, we saw deer, goats, wombats, kangaroos, just about everything.
Yeah.
So.
There's
Yeah.
more kangaroos than anything else.
Yeah, lots of roos.
And goats. Heaps of goats. Heaps of goats.
Anyway, if you're enjoying our content, please don't forget like, subscribe, share our videos. It really does help us out. We're well on our way to 1,000 subscribers. It'd be great to see us get there before the end of the year.
Before we go, we need to make sure we get home first.
Yes, that's it. We're going to get home because our son's got a soccer presentation this afternoon. So we're going to call it quits here, and we will catch you on the next one. I'm Josh.
I'm T.
This is J&T's Journey. Cheers. So T just reminded me that I forgot something.
This was supposed to be our one tank trip on top of a visit, of course. So we need to see what our fuel consumption is.
So right now we're sitting on 23 litres to the 100. This has been a pretty fuel heavy trip, but fortunately not too far from home. So we're just below half a tank. We've got 155 k's to empty, and it's about 60 k's to home. So we're going to make it on this one easy. I'll give you a final screenshot just as we pull in at home, just to show you how much fuel we've got left. Just rolling back into Bathurst now. We've got 100 k's to empty, about a quarter of a tank of fuel. So well and truly made this one. Although we did do a bit of extra four-wheel driving, so we could have done a bit more mucking around in the area, but putting fuel on the side of the road. Wasn't destined for this one. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Hooroo.